Let's bring in Bradley Bowman to find out. He is the Senior Director of the Center on Military and Political Power at the Foundation for Defense of Democracies. Thank you for being with us. So first off, thousands of laid off employees plus what looks like a wildly reworked budget. What could $50 billion each year impact?
Thanks for the opportunity to join you, and thanks for the question. You know, it's important, I think, for viewers to understand, contrary to some initial reporting, we're not talking about a $50 billion cut to the defense budget. We're talking about, after the administration clarified, a repositioning of money within the budget from lower priorities to higher priorities. But I think it's really important to viewers to understand, to put all this in perspective. We're spending about $850 billion on the Department of Defense. So what does that compare to? From a historical perspective, that's about 3% of gross domestic product. The only time we've spent that little by that measure on defense, other than 3 years right before the 9/11 terror attacks, is 1940, the year before Pearl Harbor and America's entry into World War II. So sorry, Bernie Sanders, we're not going broke on defense spending. We're spending near post-World War II lows on defense. And so I think that's important background for when we discuss this.
It is a very fascinating background and very counterintuitive to what you might imagine. We are seeing these 17 areas that the new budget is going to be prioritizing and maybe reallocating money to. Like, what are you hoping changes inside of the defense apparatus that we have right now?
You know, I think when I look at the list of where they want to prioritize, this is largely the list that I would recommend. These are capabilities that the U.S. military needs to deter aggression in the Taiwan Strait. You know, many worried that we could see China attacking Taiwan in 2028. And so these are capabilities we would need to deter that aggression and then defeat the aggression if deterrence fails.
And going back to what you just said about the levels going all the way back to the 1940s, like it makes me think of this poll. If we have the poll where it shows Americans, yep, here we go. It does look like American, and it's a three-way split, but Americans seem pretty split about how much is spent on the military each year. 34% too little, 32% about the right amount, 34% too much. Do you see that changing with any of the messaging, or does that run counter to this whole like Doge phenomena that we're seeing right now?
Right. No, it's interesting. The Reagan Institute has done some polling as well, some serious polling on that. And when Americans learn how relatively little we're spending on defense, those numbers shift. And here's one more factoid for your viewers. You know, the bipartisan congressionally mandated National Defense Strategy Commission, these were serious, nonpartisan people, concluded in their July 2024 report, quote, "The threats the United States faces are the most serious and most challenging the nation has encountered since 1945, including the potential for near-term major war," end quote. So this is the worst we've seen geostrategically since 1945. Why are we spending so relatively little on defense? You don't hear that in a lot of places, but that's the reality. And you know, when you look at what Iran, China, Russia, North Korea are doing, this is not a good time to be under-resourcing defense. And frankly, coming in with the Doge acts that is not methodical, systematic, and thoughtful. Right now, the focus needs to be on building our defense production capacity, building our stockpiles, and working with our allies to improve our combat capabilities and deterrence against aggression, in my view.
Then I hate to say it, but it's only going to get more complicated with the pivot, or at least partial pivot, to a lot of autonomous systems. Bradley, thank you so much for being with us. We hope you come back and break some more of this down for us. Thank you.
Thank you.
Sure.